Hi, my name is Brandon Farbstein, and I'm 22 years old. While I'm honored to be presenting before Congress today, I'm both saddened and disgusted that we've reached this point. I was born about 6 months after Columbine, which occurred in April of 1999. And I would have thought that incident would have been a turning point for America. To say we may not have realized this sort of thing is going to happen. This certainly wasn't thought of when the Constitution and the Bill of Rights were drafted. However, it should have been something that opened our eyes. And yet here we are, June of 2022, and headline after headline continues to run through our daily news feeds and occurrence in city after city. There's no safe place anymore. To think that today, on Father's Day, there are quite literally thousands, probably even more than that, of fathers across the country who are grieving the loss of their child, all because of inaction by Congress. Year after year, we see the same things happening. It doesn't just have to be a mass shooting in an elementary school or at a church or the countless other places that have been over the last few years, but understanding that this is happening every single day, morning, afternoon, and night, in cities coast to coast, big, small, no matter what their, quote, problems are. Gun violence is a foundation, and it's an undertone that affects every society. And we don't necessarily have to be someone that is personally affected by shootings or being a family member or a loved one of someone who is lost to gun violence in order to recognize that we are all a part of this. But especially Congress, knowing that right in front of them, right in front of you, Congress, you have solutions to prevent this. You have every ability to not have more mothers, more fathers, teachers who are affected by the loss by gun violence. And then let's talk about assault weapons. Not only that, though, why anyone not only needs one, but I'll step back for a second. Why anyone under the age of 21 should ever have the ability to put their hands on a military-grade gun if they're not in combat. Personally, that blows my mind. That makes absolutely no sense. However, look at society. But more specifically, look at some of the three of the worst mass shootings in the United States that were caused by individuals under the age of 21. Parkland, Buffalo, and Uvalde. By 18 and 19-year-olds who had no issue obtaining a weapon that in an instant destroyed the lives of so many. Because it's not just the victims, it's the communities, it's the families, it's the students who now have to go to school in fear every single day, not knowing if they're going to be next. So why do we ask ourselves why this is still happening? I don't necessarily think it's anything new, but what I've learned is that America has a hate problem. If you really take a step back and look at why things of this nature happen, not just mass shootings, but gun violence in general, it's out of a place of hate. And understanding that we don't have to be reactive in order to take a stand, in order to have policy, in order to have the resources that are needed for a community, and especially for young people, to feel like they're supported, to feel like they could have somebody to talk to, especially when it comes to mental health. We can't be naive and think that young people are immune to the adversity, the trauma that happens around them. It's the opposite, actually. I think young people, in a lot of ways, amplify what goes on around them, because if you're not given the proper tools and the coping mechanisms to deal with life in a way that you are not defined by the things that are happening around you, it's incredibly easy to get caught up in all of the things that we don't want a good member of society doing. We don't need to be somebody that has lost someone. We don't need to be someone who in the future loses a child, loses a parent, a brother, sister, spouse, friend. The time is right now. There is no delay in what Congress needs to do immediately, because it's not just about the mass shootings. It is about the gun violence that goes on every single day. Over 300 people across the country are victims of gun violence every day. 12 children plus are on that list. How many more? And Congress, again, I ask, when will you decide to take action? Is it going to be when your son or daughter is in a classroom and they're unfortunately the next victim? Or your spouse is in their car and shot dead while going to the grocery store? Or going to church, your mother or father gunned down for no reason? Is that what it's going to take? Or is it going to be now? Can this be a defining moment for our nation, for our government, and for you, Congress? Are you going to decide that enough is finally enough? Or will we continue seeing the same cycles? Hate after hate after hate. It's time to fight hate with love. And it's time for all of us to be a part of the solution. Thank you so much.